Thank you, guys. Well, I'm Destiny Flores. I own a gym here in Lubbock on 34th Street, and we've had our gym almost 14 years. So I guess how we started with that is, well, first of all, I have 5 kids and been married 18 years, been with my husband going on 22 years. So that's something I love. I'm very proud of that, and I always because you just don't see that a lot nowadays. And he's always been a big supporter with me, and I think a lot of times with my business, I have to thank him a lot for that, because if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have it back in the day. So back in the day when we first started, I started in my backyard. I had only 13 girls, and at the time I sold Advocare. So when we did Advocare, I did a 24-day challenge. It's like, buy a 24-day challenge, get a free boot camp, right? So it wasn't really profiting anything, but my thing was I want to sell 24-day challenges. So I gave that free boot camp away. So every time they would come work out, I did that. And so I did it. I did it like 2 or 3 times. And I was going to college. I had 2 kids at the time. That was really what I was doing. I was doing Advocare. So I just worked from home. Granted, I've never had an 8-to-5 job since I was 17. Since I was 17, I've always worked from home. So you could say, I've just kind of like a serial network marketer kind of thing. But that's something I've always believed in. So back to my story. When I was doing that, my husband, I was doing laundry, and I remember just dropping to the floor. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it was very dramatic. I dropped to the floor, and I just told him, I am so overwhelmed. I'm so burnt out. I don't know what to do. I'm going to college. I'm doing all this stuff. But at the same time, it's like, what am I going to college for? Because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That was my thing. But I still wanted to bring in income as well, because I like to have nice things, and I don't want to always keep asking my husband for money. Like, I want to have my own things. I've always been independent. And so he picked me up and he told me, he's like, if you want to stop going to school, that's fine. I will support you with whatever you want to do, but you need to make a decision and quit going back and forth. And so from that day, I did. And I was a senior at Tech. Okay. I could have finished, and I kind of regret not finishing, but at the same time, I feel like everything happened for a reason. Everything happened for a reason. And I feel like my calling was to own a gym, was to be an instructor, was to be a gym owner, because I have met so many beautiful women in the process of that. And so we've had our gym for 14 years. Now, at the place that I'm at, I've been there 7 years. Now, with that said, I started with 13. My boot camp back in 2020, I had over 100 girls join. So about every boot camp, I averaged about 60 to 70 girls in my classes, which is pretty awesome, because it started with 13 women. Now, with that, I feel like a therapist as well. I have seen these girls cry over divorces. I have seen girls, cry because they just had a death in the family. I had 2 girls duke it out outside my gym because one was sleeping with the other one's husband. It was some crazy stuff. Yeah, it was some crazy stuff. But, it's just like, you hear all these things and you try to be there for them, because you're not just an instructor. I'm not there just to make money. Like, my boot camps are cheap. They're like $1 a class once you do the math. I don't do it a lot for profit, and I should, but I don't, because a lot of times I know they're stay-at-home moms just like I was. They work 8 to 5, just like, it's hard in this economy to go pay $150 a month for a gym membership when all you want to do is feel good about yourself, right? So I don't charge that much, and in that case, that's where it brings me to, I do a lot of other stuff. I'm a life insurance broker as well, and we have, it's me, Tazita, Erica. We have a whole team here in Lubbock where we do that. And I also do the electricity, we not only do the electricity, we do Wi-Fi, we do internet, we do a lot of different stuff. But you could say I'm a serial network marketer. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to try to recruit y'all. I'm not. I'm just telling y'all. But I do believe in, multiple streams of income. I believe in that. So I'm going to just take our way back. So stay with me here. My mother passed away when I was 9 months old. She was 21 years old, okay? So my grandmother adopted me. When my grandmother adopted me, she raised me. Now, she raised me with my grandfather. My grandfather was my dad. Okay, stay with me, because I consider him my dad. I don't know if anybody else has that situation, but he was my dad. He raised me, right? He passed away when I turned 16 years old. So my daddy passed away. As soon as my dad passed away, that's when I met my husband. And tell me why I feel like that was such a coincidence. I felt like my dad sent him to me, because he's 7 years older than me. And I always tell my husband, I feel like he raised me. Now, he hates when I say that, but I really do feel like he raised me. I mean, he taught me everything that a father should teach you, right? And it's just like, he's always been the biggest motivator and biggest supporter for that. And so fast forward, my mother taught me not to be so dependent on a man. Okay. So this is where my thinking was back in the day. I used to have a really bad attitude, really bad attitude. Like, I don't need a man for this. I got this. I don't need, like very strong-headed, strong-willed person, right? But at the same time, I started winging away from that and thinking, okay, a man thinks, yeah, you don't need a man, but maybe a man wants to be needed. A man wants to be wanted. So I had to take a step back and let him lead the family. And when I did that, that's when our relationship got so much better, because I stepped back. And it's like, even though I want to say this and this and this, I stepped back and I let him be the leader. And that was a huge change for our relationship with that. He always told me, not he always told me, but I learned you're going to have different friends with different aspects of life. So I kept thinking about, because I know Erica just asked me yesterday about this, and I was like, what can I talk about? And my thing is, it's just being a billboard for your business. You are your business. Staying positive is a huge thing for your business. Something I learned from our life insurance coach, Elvis, he always said, are you bringing energy? Are you taking energy? And that's so huge, because you want to be a positive influence to people. I mean, if something you're saying is always negative, if you're always posting, passive aggressive stuff on Facebook, if you're always posting being so negative, nobody's going to want to follow you. And then on top of that, you're just not going to get business as well. Don't get me wrong. Back in the day, I used to get in Facebook arguments with people. I don't do that no more. I don't. I just don't. It's not worth my energy. It's not worth my time. I got 5 kids to think of. At the same time, it's like I have learned to calm down and just let God take it. That's what I do. Because, in the return, it's just all going to be returned back to me. And it's just staying positive. You can't go out there and be negative with everything and then expect to have a good business, expect to have a good clientele. And I feel like that's why I've had a good clientele, because I turn around and give back. I'm supportive. I'm good. If I ever have anything negative to say, I don't go and put it on Facebook. I tell them to their face. I don't do that, but I'm just not a confrontational person on Facebook. Does that make sense? I like to handle it different ways. yeah. I just don't do I don't do that, but that's a different subject. But it's just, what, I know I learned this a lot from Tizita, being classy, being dressed up, being glamorous, you are your business when you walk out there. So when they look at you and they see, oh, she's a life insurance broker, and don't get me wrong, I like to show my stuff. I own a gym too. So, to me, I feel it's like self-promotion is everything. But at the same time, there's a time and place to be both. You know what I mean? And I think we all know that. But that was something I wanted to touch base on, because I'm a strong believer, and just you can be strong, but you can be led too, and it's all about ego. And that's something else I learned. My insurance company that I'm a part of, they have a lot of leadership stuff that they teach us. And man, it hit me to the gut, because it's like, wow, I do that. Wow, I do that. Wow, I do that. And it's like, it made me really look at myself as a person is like, okay, I had ego issues. I did. I had a lot of issues that I had to overcome in order to make myself better. And it's all about growth. If you can read books, if you can have self-audible books, anything like that that's going to help you grow. If you have a mentor, that's good too, So it's just coming to place with that, and with the gym. I just think you guys are awesome. And I think it's just, getting out of your bubble and coming out here and networking with people. It can be scary at times, because it's like, okay, I don't know anybody. But at the same time, it's like you get out there and you meet people. And that's the thing, is like when people get so stuck in their bubble, they get stuck there. And then why? Because you're around the same freaking people all the time. You get the same customers all the time. But when you get out there and meet everybody else, that's when doors start opening for you, right? So I just think you need to get out there more. And you guys are doing that. You're here. Maybe some of y'all don't know anybody, and that's good, because you took that first step. It's scary getting out there and not knowing anybody, but you get out there and you did it, right? So I just wanted to come and share that. I don't know if that was motivational or not, but I wanted to share my story to you guys, because a lot of times, things don't always seem what they like on Facebook. And I'm going to tell you guys something too, that I kept debating on telling you guys this, but I I wasn't an alcoholic. I mean, I still have drinks, but at home I was drinking all the time by myself for 2 years. And so I stopped doing that. I'm going on 2 weeks right now, not having alcohol at my house. So I'm only drinking when I'm out at events. But that was becoming a problem for me, because it's like I felt like I had to have a drink every night. I had to buy a bottle of vodka every 3 days. You know, I was like, okay, this isn't good if I feel like I can't step away from it. You know, so not everything. If you know me on Facebook, you know I'm Mrs. Positive. I don't ever post nothing negative. You know, you wouldn't think that. So it's like, you know, don't judge everything you see on Facebook as positive. Everyone has their issues. So that was one of mine, but I'm overcoming it. So that's it. Thanks. Thank you. You're welcome.
So next we're gonna have is Tracy.
Yeah, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. I can stand for a little bit. My boot makes it even, so I'm good. So I'm Tracy Cole. You might know me from Facebook. Maybe you don't. If you're in Lubbock Foodies, I do that a lot. If you don't like it, don't tell me, because I don't want to hear it. But I also have my own social media business consulting business. I help businesses with their social media because I kind of have done a good job of it for myself. So what I'm going to tell you about today is about the blue check. I know you've seen the blue check that everyone has, and why that is a good investment for your business. So I do pay for mine. At first I was offered it and I did it as a trial, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to pay for it. And I think it's like $25 a month. But now I've started to where my posts and interactions make me money. So Facebook basically pays me for the blue check. So I don't know how you like to do your marketing, but if someone else is paying me to have something that gives me, I guess the word would be validity, then I'm going to go after it. And it's like Destiny said about what you put out there. If you're putting out quality things, people are going to want to interact with you. So initially I started with the blue check, and I was just going to pay for my pedicures because I was like, that's all I want. And then it kept coming in, and I was like, time out. Okay. So one thing that I do is I obviously have the blue check, and I encourage business owners to get that on their personal page, because how many of you have seen someone who's like, oh, I just got hacked and I lost my whole Facebook account. And I've seen people freak out because they're losing 5,000 followers, and they could have protected that. So Destiny sells insurance, and I'm selling you the blue check insurance for your Facebook, because that's basically what it is. And it eliminates some of the ads that you see. So I don't, unless I'm searching for it, or like I think the other day I posted something about Reliance, so now I see all Reliance stuff. But it's very much insurance for my Facebook account. And I know some people are like, oh, she's so snooty because she has the blue check. No, I can't lose that. I've had Facebook since it started. Like, I still log in with my @ttu.edu. So 20 years. So 20 years of content. And I've only been in Facebook jail once, and it was only probation. So I'm not trying to go back in there. So that's why I was like, I'm just going to test it out and see what happens. So how it works is you get your blue check, you get verified. You can put in your EIN, your business information, put it in there, and they send you a check every month. I think mine's coming on the 23rd or something like that of this month. And last month I made $75. So my blue check is paid for, and then I have some extra. So what I usually do, if I'm trying to increase reach for my profile, I'll run an ad. So, and I just make a post about, like, I think the last one I did, a friend of mine has this place called ChiroFit Lubbock. I made a post about that, and then Facebook asked me, do you want to boost this post? And I said, yes. And this is my other piece. If you do an ad on Facebook, never spend more than $20. You're wasting money. Like the big guys like Target and stuff like that, they're spending thousands of dollars because they have to prove that they're doing something. But us little guys, $20, you just want reach. And you can select like who it's going to and where it's going to. I think I did that ChiroFit thing. I did Amarillo, like all the surrounding areas. Midland, all of it. And I also have people that I know in Midland. So I'm very strategic with my Facebook interaction. And I know you're like, I don't have time to do yet another thing. It literally takes 10 minutes. So when you get social media managers who will tell you, oh, I'll spend 10 hours a month interacting, they're probably spending 3 minutes here, 10 minutes here, and then it all adds up to 10 hours. But they're not sitting there for 10 hours straight. What I usually do is I wake up in the morning and I thank God. And then I go scroll Facebook. So I'll see if I was tagged in anything. I will go to, I think, the Lubbock Girls Night Out page. I'll go in there and I'll go in the recommendations page. I'll go in the Bits of Life page and kind of just put something out there so that, because people are drawn to that blue check. It's like a moth to a flame. It's like, oh, you have a blue check? It's like, yeah, I paid for it.
I really like to ask questions.
Yeah.
So when you say, pardon my ignorance, because what I've done I've only been back in Lubbock for a year and a half, and Lubbock is so Facebook.
Yes.
The rest of the world is not.
No, they're Instagram.
Like they're and so I was like, what? I'm having to redirect my brain into, okay, so I'm stuck in Lubbock right now. This is Facebook. What the fuck do you mean by buying a blue check?
So I'll show it to you because I have nothing to hide.
Yes, show me.
I'm Facebook verified.
So do you just buy one, or it has to be offered to you first?
Well, you can go in there and monetize it.
Because I've been offered, and I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Is it in settings or where is it?
When I got the offer, I was like, meh, what am I gonna do?
Is it an offer?
Yeah.
When you get the offer, it was like $14, and you're like, should I do this? And
Right.
I'm not gonna get. You gotta pay like the $25.
Yeah.
I haven't done it, but now with you, I do because I get paid on Facebook.
Yes.
And I feel you on like.
How long have you had it that you?
Facebook?
No. Like the blue check that you've been
I
getting
haven't
paid.
done it, but I think I might now.
Yeah. Well, but
I haven't done it either, and I promote all my businesses on Facebook. I'm so sorry.
no, you're fine. Well, and that's the thing, because basically my Facebook page now is my business page.
Yeah.
I direct people to my business page, but I don't get that same traffic. So I can still see the dashboard. I love scheduling out posts because people are like, how are you everywhere? I'm like, girl, I scheduled that out 2 days ago. What are you talking about? I don't even know. Gosh. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even know. And then I'll go back. And that's the other thing that I tell people. Like, if you share something from your business page to your Facebook page, wait. Like, don't do it. Oh, I shared it right now, so I'm going to share it again, because you mess up your own algorithms. Like, it has to wait. It's kind of like the best way. I don't swim, but you remember how when we were little and they told us wait 15 minutes after you swim to let your food digest or you'll throw up? Same thing. Oh, it's 30 minutes? Oh, well, see, that's why I don't swim. But it's the same thing. Wait 30 minutes or so, because it takes Facebook an hour to collect the data. So that's why I'm like, post it and walk off. Like, and people are mad. They're like, no one's liking my stuff. It's like, you didn't give them a chance to if you posted 17 things in 15 minutes. Like,
Guilty as
yeah, because you're like, oh, this is such a good idea. But I'll go and I'll post something and it's like, so I don't know if you can see it this far, but, and you can pass it around. You can click on anything. You can click on bonuses and you can see how much money I've made so far. And it'll tell me which posts, yeah, it's weird, which posts have done the best and things like that. I don't delete stuff. I used to be a dirty deleter. Like, I'd go in and delete stuff late at night. I'm like, oh, I'm going to delete this post. Now I just change the settings because I need to make that money. So I just change it to where only I can see it. So, yeah. I know. I know. Right.
Only me. There were like 600 people that watched it, but I'm like,
right. And that's like Destiny said, your Facebook page is your brand. And what you're putting out there, like, she's healed. I'm healing because I'll still put it out there. And because I had to stop myself today but I still might do it, from posting that 40 is not the new 15 and women need to stop acting like that. But I should, right? I should.
I'll tag my mom.
Yes. Yes. And speaking of that, so One thing that helps is obviously shares. So like say Celeste posts something and I share it, that'll help her. However, if she's sharing it, it's not helping her. And also, we're in the copy paste generation. Good Lord. I'm also a teacher. I didn't even talk about myself. So I'm also a teacher by day. I teach English. And we are the biggest plagiarism generation out there. We will copy and paste something and put is that an Amber Alert? Oh gosh. Get your kids. But if you copy and paste someone else's content, you can't get paid for it. So you have to have original content. So that's why it's good to post about your own business, even if it's like, I don't know, Celeste does flowers. I know she does because cool. And that's the frustrating, and that's the reality of it. It's realizing who your clientele is. But we're behind in that, but we are very Facebook heavy. So a Lubbock business owner needs to understand Facebook. And you can cross-post to Facebook and Instagram, and that's a good thing about the blue check. The blue check does go from Facebook to Instagram. So you're still verified there. I think it goes on Threads too. I am a little unhinged on Threads, but because I say all the stuff I want to on Threads, and I love it. But because I don't know if you noticed, like I broke my foot, so I was down for a while, and I was like, what am I gonna do? So I went on a thing of increasing my Facebook reach, even though I wasn't going out, being more active on Instagram, posting reels. Threads, I was just following random people, commenting on their stuff. And then I got on X too. And then also LinkedIn. LinkedIn is becoming really big. And I know that's just in general, because I don't know a lot of people who found jobs from LinkedIn, but it's that business connection. Like I've connected with people in New York from LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is essentially a business social network. So it's easier to network with people who are like-minded. They're posting articles. And what was I saying about the blue check? I want to circle back to that. So I did pay for it. So I started in December. I was like, I'll give it 30 days and see what happens. And then that's when I think my first check was like $50-something. And I was like, holla. And then I was like, well, I'm going to keep going. It's the same thing with business. I set a goal. I was like, well, I made $50. Now I want to make $75. Now I want to make $100. And yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you basically made money the first time you paid for a blue check, but do you think that's because you already had so many followers and you were already posting in so many groups?
Yes.
Like we would have to up that ante essentially
yes.
if we did pay for the blue check?
And that's where I'm coming in again, coming in hot. So also what I did, and don't freak out, is I posted 3 times a day, every day. Essentially, that's 60 posts a day. But again, like we were saying, I scheduled them out. So even now, you might see me post at between 7 and 8 a.m. sometime during the middle of the day, because that's where my audience is moms. So they're sitting in the carpool lane. And so I go between like 2 and 4 o'clock. And then again, sometime at night. Usually between 8 and 10. One thing about Lubbock people, and I did a thing earlier, and a lady from Houston said, she said, Lubbock people want to talk at 10 o'clock at night. And we do. Like, that's our prime time. We're like, hey, so that's what, like, a lot of my posts have done really well are at 9 o'clock at night. So this is where I'm going to let you in on a secret. Most of my nighttime posts are 8:06, just because it's 8:06, it's a whole thing. So, and that gives it 12 hours. There are some days, don't get me wrong, that I'll post 6 things in a day because I'm just like, bop, 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 bop. And I know that I've done that to myself. But I strategically did 3 times a day. I always started off with something positive or inspirational every single day. I usually added some type of humor somewhere. So like I said, get ready, you'll see the 40 is not the new 15. That'll be out there. And then I might just do, since I am a writer, like that's essentially what I want to do, is I love writing people's stories. That's what I want to do. But right now, I have to do a social media thing, and that's fine. And so I'll write something like thought-provoking, or I know the other day I was having a moment because I'm also a single mom, so my kids were sick. And I was just like, I'd give it all up now because I just want them fine. But they won't let me. They're like, do you go to a meeting? All right, can you buy us this? I'm like, oh, bye. But it's that vulnerability because people want real people. Like 2020, we lost that connection, the face-to-face. So now we're kind of still in that bubble where we still want the social media interaction with people. And that's why people feel like they can say whatever they want on the internet without getting punched in the face. It's like, this is where you've gone wrong. And that's where I see a lot of business owners. That's where you've gone wrong. You can't talk to people crazy on the internet and think that, well, I don't need their business anyway. Yes, you do.
Yep.
Yes, you do.
It's small as fuck.
Yeah, I was like, no,
Yeah.
you can't say that. You can't think like that, because if you don't need someone's business, then you don't need to be in business.
Amen.
Go get a job. Like, I have a job just because, like I said, I'm a single mom. So I'm building my business while working full time. And I've had people, try to come after my career because they were mad over something on foodies. This has happened. This is real life. And I was like, you've got to be joking me. Like, I went to college for this. I've been a teacher for 15 years. I've been doing the social media stuff for 8. So, and I started off in direct sales. So I don't hate it. I did it because I just needed $500. I was like, I just need $500 a month. I started off selling jewelry. This was actually a piece that I earned. And I was not making $500. I was buying the jewelry back. But that's besides the point. But that's how I started. And that's really how I learned the ins and outs of social media. Because they would give us words to say. Like, here's what you say. And I was like, that's not personal. That's the teacher in me. It's like, how can I build this relationship? And so I would take the words to say and change it up to be my personality. And that's how I made that connection. So there's nothing wrong with direct sales if you use it for your own bit of. I know there's some stuff that you can't say, and they're like, well, don't say this. You can change it up a little bit. And because I was for a while just copy and pasting people's stuff. It's like, copy paste, look at this picture. And I was like, this is terrible. And then there were some women who would make their own images. It's like, how are you making your own image? And so I figured out how to do that. And it's adding that personal touch. So again, if you're in direct sales or multi-level marketing or whatever we want to call it, make it your own. Because the complaint is, I don't want to do it because so many people are doing it the same way and make it look terrible. Like, and these earrings, most of my jewelry, now I think about my whole jewelry collection I used to sell. Because think of it like this. How many, hey girl, messages have you gotten? And that's what pisses people off. Because in the words to say, it's like, go host a party. Now add everybody who was there and then be like, hey girl, how you doing? First, if you hey girl me, I'm going to leave you unread immediately. Like, I'm like, no, don't. Because I know your next spiel. Now, is anybody here a realtor? Okay, now the realtor.
I work with realtors because I do credit repair.
Yeah.
I love them, but they're like,
They're doing it now.
Literally, like, they will attack you.
They are doing it now. Like, I had a realtor, hey, I just moved to Lubbock, and I saw we had 100 mutual friends. I was like, okay, maybe we do know each other. No big deal. And then he sends me a message. He's like, hey, I just moved to Lubbock and would love to get connected with you. Can you post my flyer? I was like, what? No. Who are you? Who sent you? And then, so I flipped it on him. I was like, I also run this group called Gals at Brunch. We're looking for sponsors. Would you like to do that? And he was like, I'll have to see. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, just flip it back on him. Like, if you're going to come at me that way, impersonal, then I'm going to be impersonal with you too. And that's just the nature of the beast. So, in turn, what I was saying, if you're doing direct sales, don't let anybody, and I might be guilty of saying, I don't like it. I don't like how it's turned now. Me selling jewelry, when I first got divorced, that's how I bought my kids' formula. Like what Destiny was saying, there's some parts of my story that people don't know.
Yeah.
Like when I got divorced, I was on maternity leave as a teacher. I got a check for $159, and my ex-husband left and told me to figure it out. I had a just turned 2-year-old and a 5-month-old who was on formula. I had to hustle. These little earrings here were $19. I told myself I was going to sell 20 of those every month and would not stop until I sold 20 of them. Of course, I sold more, but I focused on something small and kept going. Mm-hmm. So I'm not against it. That's how I got through the first part of my divorce. Mm-hmm. But do it right, because it's not for everybody. And it does get a bad rap, but only because so many people are just taking the words to say, and it's copy and paste. Like I said, I'm an English teacher. That's plagiarism. Even if they give you the words to say, you're technically supposed to give them credit for giving you those words to say. Yeah. Like, that's why the English teacher in me, I was like, I can't just take these words and just post it. It's like, it's not my stuff. But do I still steal other people's content? 100% I do. But I'll either edit it to myself or I'll just give them credit, because I can still make money off of, like, let's say that Celeste posts something. I copy and paste her words. I take the picture and then I give her credit at the bottom. I can still make money off of that. But I've also directed people to her. There's people who have taken my stuff and they're like, this is so good. Can I steal it? And I'm like, yeah. And then they legit stole it. I was like, dang, you didn't put my name on it. Like, you put your name on it. So you can, because it's original content, because of the way that you formatted it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't just copy and paste it, but tweak it a little bit, then it's original content. And that's why my Facebook is a rising creator, because I'm creating brand new content. I did a post about, I think, Patrick Mahomes. And it's him, a green background with a quote that he said, I'm just a guy from Texas Tech, or something like that. And all I did at the bottom was I put photo by David whatever. That has been shared, I think, over 200 times. I've seen it everywhere. I saw the Texas Tech Alumni Association in San Antonio share it. And I was like, I made that image. All I did was I took a quote that he said, I took a picture somebody else took, and I put it together. But that was original content because no one else had did it. So it's thinking of it that way, like, how can I make, and content is everywhere. Like Destiny said, read. If you're reading something from a book and you get a quote and you're like, dang, that speaks to my soul, put it on Facebook. There's your content. It's going to speak to somebody, and that's how you're going to build your followers. That's what I do a lot, is I take quotes or things that come to me, and I'll just put it out there. And I'm like, somebody's going to like it. And if they don't, then they'll stop following me. And that's the other thing I was going to say. Don't worry about comments, likes, or follower count. Because first, the people who don't like you are always watching. Mm-hmm. Always. They're probably the first one. And then I started hiding my likes on my page. So I think it says, like, you and others like it. And I did it because people will see, oh, well, that post only has 2 likes. And then they won't do anything to it. We are a weird breed of people. Mm-hmm. But if there's, like, you and others, and they don't know how many others, they're like, okay, I'll like it. It's crazy. You have to understand it's a game to be played. That's why a lot of what I do, like, I do handle social media, but I usually only do it for a short amount of time because I want people to learn how to do it themselves. Mm-hmm. And I want y'all to take your business and get someone out of the Dallas area. There's good people in Lubbock. There are a few good ones in Lubbock. But someone who's out of the Dallas area, and you go and you talk to them, and you know exactly what you're talking about. And they're not going to screw you over. They're going to be like, look at this little person from Lubbock, Texas. They don't know what they're doing. No, you're going to talk to them about SEO and Google search and all of that stuff. And they're like, oh, you know? It's like, yeah, I do. That's how a lot of other social media companies in Lubbock are making money, because they know more than their clients. But if you know the right words to say, see how I circle back to the direct sales? If you know the words to say, they can't screw you over. And that's what sets me apart, because I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for you for like 3 months, maybe 6 months tops, to get you over a hoop or a hump, but then you're going to do it yourself. I'm going to lead you to water, and I'm going to start stepping back. I might give you a little salt to make you drink. It's like, drink it. Just do it. But I'm going to step back because my job isn't long-term for your business. The point is to grow. And like I said, I want to grow my business too. And getting stuck with just staying with small business startups is not where I want to go. I love helping people. Like, I love doing this. Like, I could talk. I know it's been longer than 20 minutes. I could talk about this for like 2 hours. Like, I'd be like, okay, listen, I got you a paper. I got you this. Let's go. Because I want to teach people. And it's like Destiny said, like, once you teach somebody how to do it and you show them and you're not trying to gain a lot off of them, they see that. It's genuine. Like, I haven't been to her gym. I should tell people I haven't. Like, I've been to her gym. Look what happened to me. But I've been watching her, and she does. Like, the cheapest boot camp there is, and it's always full. Always. You never have to worry about business if you're doing it right and you're being a good person. And is everyone your client? No. And it's okay. They can watch from afar. And my block button is strong. It used to not be. Like, I would sit there and be like, why do they hate me? Now I'm like, no, block you and get on your little fake account and still watch me because I know that's what you're doing. And then I also stopped posting about it because I used to post about it too. Be like, look at this person. They've just blocked me. Now I don't care because, again, you blocking me, I could lose 1 follower, but I gained 70. So why am I focused on that one person? It's like, you left because you're going to miss out on all of this, and I'm entertaining. So that's on you. But I have other people who I've never met who are just completely supportive. And y'all know it happens that way. Like, sometimes your close friends and families are the one who aren't supportive of you. There are people I've never met who are rooting me on, and that's who I do stuff for. Because I'm like, I'm going to make you proud, because if you believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself, I'm not